When I hit 10,000 subscribers, I had this quiet thought in the back of my mind. Okay, is this it? Is this a moment where YouTube finally feels stable, where the income reflects how hard I'm working, where sponsors line up, where it feels like I've made it? Because if you're anything like me, you've probably wondered that too. If you put in this much time, this much effort, does it actually pay off? Today I'm going to show you my real numbers. Not just what YouTube pays me in ads, but what it actually looks like as a full-time career while I'm chasing the Olympic marathon and building my coaching business. I want to be transparent because I think a lot of creators and a lot of runners assume something magical happens at 10K. It doesn't. Let's get into it. My channel is about running. It's not a YouTube growth channel, but I wanted to make this for two reasons. Number one, for other creators who are wondering what to realistically expect. And second, for transparency to my own community. Because this is my full-time job. 3 years ago, I finished my MBA, and the safe path was corporate. A big salary, clear structure, predictable growth, and instead I went all in on running, YouTube, coaching, and a self-funded protein muffin startup. I moved to San Diego while my family stayed in Norway, and that decision came with financial uncertainty. Most smaller YouTubers do this part-time. I didn't. I chose to build my own runway by coaching runners instead of getting a job. And that changes the pressure completely. So I started posting videos in April 2023. I posted 3 videos as part of my MBA class, and then I stopped. I didn't have a system, I didn't have a plan, and I didn't understand what consistency actually required. I only posted shorts until March 2024. And then I learned that you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours before you can even make $1. So I started reposting my Instagram Reels to YouTube Shorts. And I didn't get that many views, they still don't, but it was smart because that's how I grew my first 1,000 subscribers. When I hit 1,000, I made a decision. 1 long-form video per week, no matter what. And I knew I was close to 4,000 watch hours, but it still took me 8 months to get there. I got monetized in November 2024, and I had what I thought were strong stories. Signing up for marathon 3 weeks before and winning it. Going from a 3:05 marathon to a 2:46 in 7 months. I had 6 stress fractures that I came back stronger from. And I'm not saying that to brag, I'm saying that because it leads into something I really wish I had understood back then. Even with a compelling story, even with unique progress, even with what we call a competitive advantage in business, YouTube is still a long game. I thought that if the story was strong enough, it would take off faster. And obviously that helps, but what I didn't understand was the systems matter more than the story. More on that later. So here are the actual numbers. I got monetized in November 2024. My first month, I made $39.89, not $3,900, $39. In 2025, my total YouTube AdSense revenue was $2,185.68. That's the full year. Over the last 28 days, I've had 114,000 views, including shorts, 2.4 thousand watch hours, and 129.20 in estimated revenue. My average RPM, which means revenue per 1,000 views, is about $4.04. My best RPM video was $6.43. So if you're doing the math, YouTube ads alone is not paying my rent. So how does this actually work? Because if AdSense was my only income, this wouldn't be sustainable. YouTube is not my paycheck. YouTube is my platform. The real income comes from 3 main places. First, coaching. One-on-one run coaching is what covers my monthly expenses. That is my highest touch, highest value offer. And honestly, coaching runners is something I would do even if it paid less per hour than corporate, because I know what it feels like to go through 6 stress fractures, to feel like your body is broken, to think maybe you're not built for this. And I know what it's like to want to progress so badly but not know how. Helping runners progress and build confidence in their bodies and actually enjoying the process, that matters so much to me. Second, digital products. So my heart rate based running plans, my race distance strength programs, those take a lot of upfront work. A lot. But once they're built, they allow me to help more people without trading more hours. And that's super important because I'm not trying to build a job here. I'm trying to build something sustainable. Number 3, partnerships. So I don't have dozens of sponsors, but I have a few aligned ones, and I definitely want to work harder on this one. But I'm very selective, and if I recommend something, it's because I genuinely use it in my own training. What I wish I understood earlier is that YouTube is not passive. It's not film and upload. It's a training block. And just like my running, I approach it the same way. I spent 7 years learning how to train hard without breaking my body, building a system, testing, adjusting, and improving my process. And now I'm doing the same with YouTube. I don't just film when I feel inspired, I build systems. On average, one video takes me 10 to 15 hours, sometimes more. And here's what that actually looks like. I spend 20 to 30 minutes brainstorming ideas for my athletes, DMs on Instagram in my own training. I spend 2 to 3 hours researching, so science papers, coaching cases, watching other creators, and testing ideas. And then I spend 10 plus hours doing deep research weeks, so like female health and hormones lately. And then I spend 4 to 5 hours writing structured notes and scripting key sections. And then filming and planning B-roll takes me about 1 to 1.5 hours. I also have a weekly editor meeting where we review and improve, which takes me about 30 minutes to 1 hour. The thumbnail creation takes about an hour. And lastly, uploading, description, chapters, tags, linking products, and ads takes me about 45 minutes. And I even have an editor. So when you add that up, it's a lot. And finally, if I compare that to what I'd make per hour in a post-MBA corporate job, this would not win. But that's not how I evaluate it, because this excites me. It's hard, it's uncertain, it's slow, and that's what makes it meaningful. What I'm doing now is slowly buying back my time. As revenue increases, I reinvest into better editing, better thumbnails, better systems. Not to work less, but to make better videos, to help more runners, to raise the standard of the advice out there. That's the long game. There have absolutely been moments where I've looked at the numbers and thought, okay, am I being naive? Because this is not a guaranteed path. There's no HR department, no steady paycheck, no promotion ladder, just me, my ideas, and the willingness to keep going. When I finished my MBA, the logical path was corporate. Stable income, prestige, clear progression, and instead I chose something uncertain. And yes, that's scary. Not because I'm chasing money, but because I value responsibility. I moved to San Diego. My family is in Norway. I have student loans. I want to build a future. So this isn't reckless. It's intentional. What helps me stay steady is this. I'm not measuring success by did I make the Olympics or did YouTube explode? I measure it by am I showing up as a person I want to be? Am I building something meaningful? Am I improving the process? Because just like running, you don't control the outcome, you control the system. And right now, my systems are improving, and that's what gives me confidence. If you're a smaller creator thinking, can I do this full time? Here's what I wish I understood earlier. YouTube ads alone at 10,000 subscribers are not enough, unless you're in finance, business, or a very high RPM niche. But YouTube is incredibly powerful if you treat it like a business. For me, that means having a system for ideas, batching content, tracking what performs, improving hooks and thumbnails, reinventing my process. I have an Asana board full of video ideas, mostly from my own training mistakes, my athletes, and the questions I get every day. I script 3 to 4 videos at a time. I batch film 4 videos. I refine my thumbnails, and I study retention. Not because I want to hack YouTube, but because I want to respect my viewers' time. If someone clicks my video, I want it to be worth it. So is it worth it financially? If I compare this to a post-MBA corporate salary, no, not right now. But worth it is not just income. It's waking up excited, building something aligned with my values, working with runners all over the world, Seeing athletes go from injured and frustrated to confident and thriving, I've made lifelong friends through this platform. I've found business partners through coaching. I've built a team, and that matters to me. And I'm 28. To me, the way I see it, this is a season of building. Just like running, you don't peak in year one. You build, you refine, you stay consistent, and you improve the system, and the numbers follow eventually. If you're a creator watching this, be realistic, be patient, build something real, and don't rely on ads alone. If you're here for running, thank you. Your trust allows me to do this, and that's something I don't take lightly. We're building something long-term here. Train smarter, build smarter, and stay patient. And I'll keep sharing the journey.